This video is intended for informational purposes only and does not include a complete description of all applicable regulatory requirements. It should not be considered a substitute for comprehensive training required by law or your organization's policies. Employers are responsible for ensuring that employees receive proper training to meet all regulatory and safety standards. Nor Cal Carpenters is demonstrating one possible approach, but there are many acceptable methods. Tube and clamp scaffold systems are built using a series of tubes that serve different functions. These include posts, also called standards, which provide vertical support, runners, or ledgers, which run the length of the scaffold, bearers, also known as transoms, which run across the width, braces for added stability, and tie-ins to secure the scaffold to a structure. To connect these tubes, two main types of clamps are used: right-angle clamps, which secure tubes at 90 degrees, and swivel clamps, which allow for angled connections. Together, these components create a strong and adaptable scaffold system. Now let's talk about setting base. Before setting base, look up and around for hazards like power lines, tree branches, or building protrusions. Start by laying out the tubes on the ground. Check that all components fit properly before assembly. This prevents misalignment later. Inspect tubes, right angles, and connections for any problems that could compromise stability. Always adhere to the scaffold manufacturer's instructions for assembly and load limits. Before erecting tube and clamp, make sure base plates or mudsills are in place to distribute weight evenly. Why do we use mudsills? Load distribution. Scaffolds carry significant weight from workers, tools, and materials. A mudsill spreads this load over a larger area, preventing the scaffold legs from sinking into soft soil or damaging surfaces. Without mudsills, scaffold legs can shift or sink unevenly, creating instability and increasing the risk of collapse. OSHA and other safety regulations require proper footing for scaffolds. Mudsills or base plates are part of these standards to ensure safe working conditions. Uneven or soft ground can compromise scaffold integrity. Mudsills provide a level, solid foundation even in challenging conditions. In conclusion, mudsills are only needed if there is displacement. While setting vertical posts, never leave a post unattended. An unsecured post can easily fall and cause injury. Whenever possible, work with a partner. Tube and clamp scaffolding is safer and more efficient with two people. While it is possible to work alone in some circumstances, having help reduces risk and speeds up the process. When installing horizontal components on a tube and clamp scaffold, follow these steps. Step 1. Place the runner first. The runner acts as the primary horizontal support and serves as a backup for the bearer. Step 2. Position the bearer on top of the runner. The bearer rests securely on the runner, ensuring stability and proper load distribution. What is a wrap? A wrap is the assembly of two bearers and two runners that create the lower or upper half of the bay. After setting the first wrap, go back and level from bearer to bearer for consistent alignment and safety. Scaffold clamps are made up of several movable and adjustable parts. The body is the main portion of the clamp, and all other parts attached to it. The strap, which is connected to the body with hinge pins that may be riveted or welded in place, is the strongest part of the clamp and is designed to bear weight and pressure. The bolt is used to secure the clamp and is adjusted with a scaffold wrench. When positioning bolt clamps, always ensure that the weight or pressure is placed on the strap rather than the bolt, since the strap provides maximum strength. Torque specifications for tightening the bolt are typically between 40 and 45 foot-pounds. Be careful not to over-tighten, as excessive torque can deform the bolt and reduce its holding strength. Proper clamp installation is critical for scaffold safety, so always follow these guidelines to maintain a safe work environment. When setting the base for your scaffold, always start with a straight, unwarped plank. It's always a good practice to start your level from the high side of supporting surface. Make sure you avoid leveling from the runners, as the longer tubes may be bent and can cause inconsistencies. Use the same plank and the same level throughout the entire base process for accuracy, leveling from bearer to bearer and then snugging the runner under with full clamp connection. And most importantly, take pride in your work. Precision and consistency matter. When assembling a tube and clamp scaffold, expect a lot of back and forth adjustments. Every section must be plumb, level, and square before moving forward. Important. Under every base and every working platform, install a horizontal diagonal brace, also called a plan brace, beneath the deck. This brace is critical for structural stability and helps prevent racking. Take your time, check alignment frequently, and never skip plan bracing. It's a key safety requirement. What is a plan brace? A plan brace in tube and clamp scaffolding is a horizontal diagonal brace positioned within a horizontal plane, usually at the base or working platform level. Its purpose is to interconnect scaffold bays, prevent twisting, and provide lateral stability across the structure. Why use plan braces? Maintains structural alignment, locks scaffold bays together at deck level, prevents lateral movement, stops twisting or racking under load, enhances stability, especially critical for wide or irregular layouts or when ground anchoring is limited. Forms triangles. Diagonal placement creates rigid triangular geometry, stiffening the scaffold and preventing distortion. In short, a plan brace is a diagonal tube installed in the floor plane of the scaffold, creating a strong, stable base for safe work. As you move up to the next scaffold lift, remember, the maximum runner spacing is 6 feet 6 inches for light, medium, and heavy-duty tube and clamp scaffolds. The vertical distance between working platforms does not change. In most of the United States and Canada, scaffolds up to 125 feet can be built without an engineered design, according to OSHA and OH&S standards. Important note, regulations may vary by location, so always check and follow the rules where the scaffold is being erected. Teamwork is essential in this next step. As we move up to the next lift, the work is overhead, and balancing a plank, holding a level, and adjusting clamps is difficult to do alone. Always work together to ensure everything stays plumb, level, and secure before moving forward. When working with engineered prints, always refer back to the drawings as the project progresses. It's easy to get complacent, but these drawings include critical details such as minimum and maximum distances. Consistently checking the plans ensures accuracy, compliance, and safety throughout the build. When installing universal diagonal braces, always ensure clamps are oriented correctly to prevent clamp failure or rollout. Bolt clamps should be positioned so that the weight or pressure is placed on the hinge or strap, which is the strongest part of the clamp. Proper orientation is critical for safety and structural integrity. A cantilever is an assembly that extends a work platform beyond the basic scaffold framework and its vertical supports. Cantilevers can be placed on either end or both ends of a scaffold and at any level. They may consist of more than one level, provided they are securely tied to a supporting structure. A needle is a runner that extends beyond the edge of a supporting surface to provide support for a cantilever platform. Always ensure proper installation and secure connections when working with cantilevers and needles to maintain safety and stability. When installing ladders on a scaffold, remember this rule. Install 2 ladder brackets on the first ladder and 1 bracket on every additional ladder. But always be aware of job site standards, which might require you to install 2 ladder brackets on the top ladder as well. Most ladders will be mounted on a puncheon. A puncheon is a post, or other vertical component that provides support but does not contact the scaffold's supporting surface. Always ensure brackets and ladders are secure before use. As you continue building your scaffold, here's a smart safety tip. Always install a ladder before moving on to the next lift. This ensures safe and easy access for everyone. Now, you might be wondering, what about scaffold erectors? Yes, it is legal for erectors to climb horizontal components, as long as they're parallel, level, and spaced no more than 22 inches apart vertically. But remember, best practice is always to provide proper access. Safety first every time. Raker braces are structural components used to provide additional support to load-bearing scaffold members. They should never be installed at less than a 30-degree angle to the vertical, as steeper angles allow the brace to bear more weight. There are 2 types of rakers. A compression raker supports the platform from below, transferring load into the ground. A tension raker supports a cantilevered platform from above, pulling upward to maintain stability. Always ensure raker braces are properly installed and secured to maintain scaffold integrity and safety. When planning a scaffold, one of the most important decisions is the position of the bearers. There are 2 common methods. The first is the Western method, where bearers are connected directly to the post, positioned over the runner. In this method, planks overlap each other. The second is the English method, where bearers are attached to the runners. Here, planks do not overlap, they are butted end to end. Always confirm which method is required for your project before installation. When installing guardrails on tube and clamp scaffolds, remember, the top rail must be between 42 and 45 inches above the deck. The mid-rail, or knee rail, should be between 21 and 22.5 inches. When installing your swing gate, make sure it opens inward onto the deck and meets the same Cal OSHA guardrail height requirement of 42 to 45 inches. If we follow this process, the scaffold will be complete with no need for backtracking because we double-checked and kept everything plumb, level, and square as we built. For dismantling, simply reverse the process. The last thing installed will be the first thing removed. In conclusion, we've covered the essentials: keeping base plates square on mudsills, the leveling process, Teamwork, always. The difference between a tension and compression Raker brace, Cal OSHA guardrail requirements. And most importantly, taking pride in your work. Remember, we're doing a job for a customer and they will only remember your last mistake. Safety comes first. Always follow local or job site requirements for 100% tie-off height.